Hello, good morning, ahoy there. Bit later than usual in the week. I'm on holiday. I'm still here in Borneo. I'm in Kuching now, which sounds expensive, but isn't. Like the Sheryl Crow song, Kuching. As you can see, I've got a different hat on. Holiday hat, which sort of against my choice. My normal hat, the Reykjavik one. I was walking around some shops and I kept getting this. I walked into a shop basically and there was this horrible smell and I thought, oh, it stinks of this, so I left. Went into another shop and I thought, oh, this shop smells the same. About 3 shops later I started thinking, all these shops down this street smell the same. And took my hat off and a whiff came out and I sniffed my hat. Oh, it's my hat. So I had to put it in here in my backpack and quickly buy this little beauty, which the woman in the shop assures me doesn't make me look stupid. I was hoping it makes me look like Lemmy from Motorhead or the fellow in Predator who says, I ain't got time to bleed. But I don't think it does. But I like cowboy hats and it's the closest I've seen to one. So I bought this, I've been wearing this ever since. I'm here in Kuching, as I say, and it is lovely. I'll show you it in a minute. It's beautiful here, but it's really, really muggy. It's a heat I'm not used to. It's like that tropical, moist heat. But I really like it here. I'll look, just over I'm on the riverside at the moment, and we'll go down there in a minute and have a look. It's almost like a European looking set of buildings down there. I know they were colonised here by the Dutch many years ago, and I think that's had a bit of a hangover with some of the architecture. I don't know anything about architecture, but I know what I like, and there's some stunning stuff here, really, really beautiful buildings. And you can hear that water, that's from this. It's a big fountain of a hornbill, which you probably shouldn't say this week, because they're very fond of the hornbill bird here, and I think they look like Donald Trump. They've got that big quiff on the top, which is their hornbill. So I think it makes them look like Donald Trump. Always makes you wonder if he's screeching something offensive, or he's saying, I don't like blackbirds. I know lots of other birds, but the blackbirds are the ones I don't like. Is he saying? Probably not. Probably not. I doubt that hornbills are not racist. Putting that out there. But this is a really nice little water feature they've got just behind me. It's like it's a park behind me. It's just like a big nature reserve park. Not a great deal in it, but it's very pretty. And then they've got this nice little set of stairs going up to it. I've yet to see anyone running up it like Rocky, which I thought I would. I thought there'd be a lot of that going on. But you do get a lot of runners here up and down the riverfront. Very health conscious around here. You see a lot of running, mainly running, but I saw some guys doing some boxing under a bridge recently. Super friendly, asked if I wanted to go and fight with them. I didn't. They looked quite good at it, so I thought, well, that'd be a bad idea, so I said no, but they were really nice about it. Everyone here is super friendly. Like there was a big bike festival here yesterday, and there were all these like backpatch bikers wandering around, and they look quite mean. They've got like, the leathers on, and they're like, and they've got names like, the Skull Assassins and things like this on there, or the Headhunters on their backs. And every single one of them that walked past would be like, hi, how are you? Really friendly, stop for a little chat, where are you from? You can't fault it for friendliness, and it's a weird place. It's I like Malaysia anyway. I was in Kuala Lumpur last year and really liked it. But I really wanted to see more wildlife. So I came here to see the orangutans and the crocodiles and the racist hornbills and the sun bears. I've seen all of them, and it's just been fantastic, and it's actually felt quite effortless to see them as well. It's not been like, like parts of India where you think, am I going to see a tiger? Maybe not. Here they're really upfront about it in the first place. They say, look, the chances are slim, especially with the orangutans, because when the fruiting season is out, they can get their food themselves, so they don't need to go wandering down to the feeding stations in these forests that they set up. So they're really upfront about it. They're like, look, you're probably not going to see one. And we went down, and I saw this bloody massive, great big orangutan. Immediately, as soon as we walked in, it was huge. So that was great. He was there for ages. He was there for about 40 minutes, just hanging out, and people were throwing bananas up to him. Hey, man. People were throwing bananas up to him, and he was obviously not just members of the public. It was the ranger doing it. But it was great. It was great. I really recommend coming here. Kuching's fantastic, and all these things for seeing wildlife are quite accessible. So if you're into that, I really recommend this as a holiday. I don't normally do holiday vids, but I felt like I had to here because it's just such a great place. And like, look at this building here that's just behind me. This is like the Congress building, which you're not allowed in. Only Congress are. That's where they go and make decisions and decide what's going to happen around here. But it's just amazing. You can see it from all around the town, and it's like this big gold roof building. It looks like somewhere a superhero team would use as their headquarters, isn't it? Imagine, like, you know, the Fantastic Four or someone like that going home to that. And actually, over that way, there's the Cat Museum, which if you ever come here, you've got to go to. Please go to the Cat Museum. It's brilliant. It's the weirdest museum I've ever been in my life. They've got like a glass display case with Artifact of the Month in it, and it's just like another statue of a cat. And there's no explanation. I couldn't work out why it was the cat of the month, but I'm assuming they change them around. But it's brilliant. It's really good. They've got all like posters from Athena of cats up, and there'll be like a cat smoking a fag, or there'll be a cat sitting on a motorbike, and then it'll be like some taxidermized cats of questionable ability. I think I could do it myself, actually. But it's really worth it. It doesn't cost much to get in. That's the other thing about it here, actually. Apparently Kuching is one of the wealthier cities in Malaysia, and with a name like Kuching, you'd expect it's going to be quite pricey, and everything's really reasonably priced. I think it's if you're looking at your budget, I really recommend this one. It's a great one to come to. I mean, I never drank on holiday anyway. I think I mentioned that before. But if you're trying to stay off the drink, which I often go on about, I think this is a really good location, because there are bars and there are posters up advertising local bars, but I've yet to see anyone really going. Well, I'll get to this in a minute. You don't look at this. There's hardly anyone here, which adds to the sort of dreamlike quality of this place. I mean, what time is it now? It's coming up for 10 to 11. There's hardly anyone here, and it's like this most of the time. It's like, just, if you like peace and quiet, admittedly, it's still May, so it's possibly not the season yet. Maybe in a couple of months' time, maybe people who have come here before will say, you're an idiot, it gets really busy there. But I've been here for just over a week now, and there's hardly anyone here. Apparently, I was talking to a cab driver yesterday who was telling me to watch out for the crocodiles in this river. Don't know if he was just trying to scare me. I haven't seen any. Although there is a big another sign over there about crocodiles saying beware, so maybe. But yeah, the cab driver was telling me that tourism has dropped by like 50% here at the moment, and he was blaming a few different factors for it. But he said that's really brought it down by quite a remarkable amount, which is a shame. Because the biker thing that was going on, they had all these stalls set up, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be brilliant for them, they'll make a fortune. And there's no one there. And in fact, I bought another hat just out of, felt like civic duty, really. But it's if you're looking for a bit of a peaceful getaway, I would certainly recommend Malaysia in general. It's really nice, but Kuching it's been brilliant. It's like for a mental detox, which I didn't really need, arguably, but I've had. You can't help but get it here. As I say, there's whatever you want is here. I'm sure if you wanted to go out and have a few drinks, you could. I know you can. I've seen the bars. But there doesn't seem to be any emphasis on doing that. I've not overheard anybody saying, oh yeah, let's get on it, or anything like that, which you often do in other tourist destinations. And it's so clean and tidy. Everywhere you go, there's look at the river. The river is just spotlessly clean. Apart from the odd bit of weed hanging around in there or whatever, it's just beautiful. And I find that has quite a strong effect on your mental well-being as well. When you're in places where there's litter everywhere, that has it does with me, it's a bit of a knock-on effect. You're like, oh, it's just horrible. Whereas here, it's just almost idyllic. I keep saying it, but it feels dreamlike. You know that thing when you dream that you're somewhere and you walk around and everything's a bit subdued and everything's a bit muted. That's what it's like here. I mentioned before, no one bibs their car horns here. Whereas in India, where I spend a bit of time, that's all anyone does. That's like an expected way to drive, is just beep, 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 beep as you go. They don't do it here. So it's just really nice. I'd really recommend it. Just coming up to the bridge now. This is it's called the Darrell Hannah Bridge, which I can't be alone in being the only person who thought it was named after the actress. In my defence, I heard it before I saw it written down. Someone said that's the Darrell Hannah Bridge, and I was like, well, they got a Rebecca De Mornay one just further up the river, but it's not Darrell Hannah, it's just pronounced that way. But it's a beauty of a bridge. It's like something from everything here, if it's new, reminds me of something from a 60s sci-fi. You know, like Thunderbirds. I mean, have another look at the Congress building there. You can just imagine the roof of that opening up and a rocket firing out of it. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. But yeah, all the modern stuff here looks like it's 50s or 60s sci-fi to me. And I'm not complaining about that, it's fantastic. I'll show you the view from up here as you come up to it. It's a very mountainous area around here. So this is the bridge itself. And they've got these nice little sort of view pods just off the side of it. As you can see, it's just a nice place to be. And by and large, everyone I've met here has been really polite, really friendly. Probably get proved wrong now, someone will come up and tell me to F off. But they haven't. I've nearly been run over twice, but in honesty, I think both times were my fault. And they weren't impolite drivers. But the people here are, yeah, just very, very polite, very, very nice. Here we go, and there's the floating mosque just over there. Have a look at that. At night time it all gets lit up around here. There's like a big light and fountains show every night just by the side of the river. I'll have to come down and film that. I can see why people retire here. You get a lot of Australians here. I think they can get like a 3-month visa, same as Brits, and they seem to use that. They come here for 3 months, possibly go off somewhere else again. Sort of something I'm considering doing. As you know, I'm looking at retiring next year, so moving around with visas is something I'm sort of considering at the minute. Looking at different options, different countries, but this wasn't one of them. And then having come here, I'm thinking, yeah, 3 months here wouldn't actually... In fact, the only shame is that it couldn't get one for longer. If I could do 6 months here, I certainly would. It's just a good place to be. I feel very subdued here. It has a bit of a knock-on effect with you. You find yourself being quite dreamlike and subdued yourself, which isn't that bad a thing, I find. It sort of settles the racing brain. The shopping's really good here as well, if you're into that. I mean, as this hat evidences. But there is some really good shopping to be done. If you want to do like a souvenir buying, this is known as the Cat City, which weirdly I don't see many cats. By that definition, you know, you'd think Delhi would be called the Dog City because it's full of dogs. They're nice dogs, but I've not really seen many cats, but they're known for their cats here, or it's called the Cat City. And it's, yeah, just hang on a second. Yeah, I've not seen a huge amount of them, but you see a lot of the things in the shops are centred around cats. So there's like cat t-shirts, cat bags, cat everything. But they don't go too crazy for that either. There is some genuine, like, decent shopping to be done here. And yeah, obviously you've got your souvenir shops, which I've not bought any of. A few years ago I was in Spain, and I used to have this thing where I used to like buying really terrible, horrible souvenirs for someone. for a friend of mine back home. And I went into this shop, saw all these, I mean, terrible souvenirs, like a carriage clock with a salmon jumping over the top of it. I mean, horrible stuff. And I thought, great, this is the place. I'll come back in here tomorrow. They're doing a bit of building work. I thought, I'll come back in here tomorrow. So I went back in, and the man behind the counter was an English guy. He was a bit stuck up, and he said, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I said, every time I go on holiday, I buy a really horrible, tacky souvenir for a friend of mine. And he stopped me dead, and he said, well, I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place. You won't find anything like that in here. I only sell high, what's it you called it? High art, basically. So I only sell very nice, ornate items. And I had to go along with it and go, sorry, I think I've come to the wrong shop. But I really wanted to buy this really horrible bull statue. So I had to say, I'm sorry, I think I've come to the wrong shop. However, while I'm in here, another friend of mine would really like this lovely bull, and he was like, it was bloody horrible. But I thought, is he winding me up? Does he really think this is high art? Or is it, I like to think he was winding me up, but I don't think he was. I think he was like something from a Dick Emery sketch. But I bought the bull, and actually, as it turned out, my friend didn't think it was horrible either, so maybe it's just me. So this is, I'll show you, look, more crocodile signs. Just down here. Danger. He says going close to the sign. Be aware of the crocodiles. And I asked my cab driver yesterday, I said, do you actually see them along here? And he said, yeah, massive ones. And he said that in the drains around here, they've got like big storm drains. He said you see them in the storm drains sometimes. So since then I've been sort of fanatically walking around looking down these storm drains for a crocodile. Haven't seen one, but I guess these statues here are crude renderings of crocodiles. And so they probably do get seen around here. I did see one, just not here. I saw it more in the countryside, and it was enormous. It was like a dinosaur, like, I don't know, head wider than my shoulders. It was bloody massive, and he was just hanging around a bit, doing what crocodiles do. And then he sort of thrashed his tail and off he went. But it was great to see him. But yeah, I'm here for another few days. Might do another video actually. There's a restaurant I want to show you around the corner where Jackie Chan went when he came here. Apparently, well, there's pictures of him in there. Not like those pictures you see in pubs of the Queen Mother pulling a pint. I mean, these are really pictures of him in there. But they do this, they're fried bananas. They're really bad for you. They're these fried bananas covered in sugar, and then they cover them in cheese. And I was looking at someone eating them thinking, that looks colossally bad for you. Oh, and then they put syrup on it. And the waitress came over and was like, oh, you don't need to order that, we know what you want. And they went and got them for me. And it was, frankly, one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in my life. As most of the food here is, it's excellent. But I've had to be strict with myself and say, no, you can't go back there. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience, surely. So I've not gone back yet, but I'll show them to you. Well, I've said I will now, so I have to. But we'll go up there and have a look in a couple of days' time. So that's this bit of Kuching. We've not got into the town, we've just walked up and down the river. I say this is a city break. I know I do walking videos, but I'm kind of using it still for walking. I'm still getting about 25,000 a day in, which hasn't been that difficult actually. It's a nice walking city. So I'll, don't know how many I've done there, but I'll have a look at my watch in a second and see how many steps I've done. And we'll carry on with them as the day goes on. Whatever you're doing today, hope you have a good day. Hope it all works out nicely for you, whatever you've got planned. And until next time, walk tall.